Here are Grandpa's 42 hacks to unlimited hot water for your home. No electric needed. Black pipe flat plate collector. Grandpa built simple solar water heaters using black metal pipe mounted on a flat board in full sun. The pipe was painted matte black and arranged in tight loops, then connected to a water tank above it. Sunlight heated the pipe, warming the water as it slowly circulated upward. This setup used gravity and solar gain only. On clear days, it provided surprisingly hot water for washing without burning fuel or using electricity. Donkey or header tank. Did you know that donkey boilers were widely used before modern water heaters, especially on farms and in remote homes? A donkey system used a small firebox beneath a steel tank to heat water directly. Hot water naturally rose into a header tank positioned higher, supplying sinks or tubs by gravity. These systems worked around the clock using scrap wood or coal. They were simple, rugged, and reliable, long before electric heaters became common. Black paint pipe or tank varnish. Painting pipes or tanks. Black dramatically improves heat absorption from sunlight or nearby fires. Apply high-heat matte black paint evenly over clean metal surfaces and allow it to cure fully. The dark finish absorbs radiant energy far better than bare metal. This increased water temperature without changing the system itself. In off-grid setups, black paint was one of the cheapest upgrades available, turning ordinary tanks and pipes into passive heat collectors. Hot rock water drop. A pot of water could be heated quickly using hot stones when fuel was scarce. According to Grandpa, smooth rocks were heated near a fire, then dropped carefully into a container of water using tongs. The rocks transferred stored heat rapidly, raising water temperature without direct flame. This method required caution, but worked well for washing or warming water in emergencies. It relied on thermal mass rather than constant fire. Haybox tank insulation. Water tanks lost heat fast unless insulated. Families packed hay, straw, or old blankets tightly around tanks, then boxed them in with scrap wood. This haybox insulation trapped warmth and slowed cooling dramatically. Even water heated once during the day stayed warm overnight. The method was low cost and effective, especially for outdoor or shed-mounted tanks. Insulation mattered just as much as heating, and hay was often easier to find than fuel. Outdoor barrel sauna heater. An outdoor barrel sauna heater doubled as a serious hot water source in off-grid setups. A steel drum was fitted with a firebox underneath and a water jacket or coil running through it. As the fire burned, heat transferred directly into the water. The hot water could be dipped out or gravity-fed to a wash station. This setup used scrap materials and wood fuel, providing bathing and washing water without electricity, even in harsh winter conditions. Evacuated tube system. Evacuated tube solar systems use sealed glass tubes to capture heat extremely efficiently. Each tube trapped sunlight while preventing heat loss to cold air, making them effective even on chilly days. Water circulated through a manifold, warming rapidly with no moving parts. These systems were prized in off-grid homes because they produced reliable hot water using only sunlight. Once installed, they required little maintenance and delivered consistent performance without fuel, wires, or pumps. Glass jar array. A simple glass jar array worked as a low-tech solar water heater. Clear jars filled with water were painted black on the outside and lined up in full sun. The glass created a greenhouse effect, trapping heat and warming the water inside. Jars were rotated or replaced throughout the day as they heated. This method was slow but dependable, ideal for washing dishes or hands when no other system was available. Coil water heater, external. An external coil heater used copper or steel tubing wrapped around a stovepipe or firebox. As the fire burned, heat transferred through the metal into water flowing inside the coil. One end fed cold water in, the other delivered hot water out. This design required careful pressure control, but worked efficiently. It turned an existing heat source into a powerful water heater without adding fuel or electricity. Pressure cooker steam loop. A pressure cooker does more than make beans tender. It also throws off powerful steam heat that doesn't have to go to waste. This works because steam carries a huge amount of thermal energy. To use it, place the pressure cooker on a steady heat source and fit a metal tube over the steam vent. Run that tube through a coil of metal pipe sitting in a water container. As steam passes through, it transfers heat into the water. warming it quickly while venting safely. Masonry heater won't water core. A big masonry heater doesn't just warm rooms, it can quietly heat water too. The thick stone stores heat and releases it slowly. Build or retrofit a sealed metal water tank inside the masonry mass, never in direct flame. As the heater runs, stored heat warms the water over hours. Draw water by gravity or valve when needed. This setup uses the heater's natural heat retention to provide hot water long after the fire has burned down. Solar-heated shower floor drain. Sun-warmed floors can preheat water without effort. This works because dark stone absorbs solar energy efficiently. Build a shower floor from dark tile or concrete and run a shallow water channel beneath it, leading to a holding tank. Place the shower area in full sun. As water flows across the warm surface, it picks up heat before draining. The warmed water collects below, reducing how much fuel is needed for final heating. Insulated underground tank. The ground itself is a powerful temperature stabilizer. Bury a water tank below frost depth and wrap it on all sides with rigid insulation. Connect the tank to a solar collector, stove coil, or waste heat source. Heat the water during the day, then let the earth and insulation hold that warmth. Because underground temperatures stay steady, the water cools very slowly. This method stores usable heat for days without electricity or constant reheating. Biomass pila heater. A pile of decomposing organic material can produce steady heat for weeks. Build a large heap of straw, leaves, manure, and wood chips, leaving a hollow center. Run water tubing through the core, says some, then insulate the pile with tarps or soil. As the pile breaks down, it generates heat that transfers into the water. This works because microbial activity releases warmth continuously, turning compost into a slow, fuel-free hot water source. Phase change material, or PCM storage. Phase change materials store heat when warm and release it as temperatures drop. This works because PCM melts at a set point, holding energy instead of letting it escape. To use it, place PCM panels or containers near heat sources, like stoves or sunny windows during the day. As the room cools, the material slowly releases stored warmth. It evens out temperature swings and keeps spaces comfortable longer without adding fuel or electricity. South-facing stone heat sink. Stone absorbs heat all day and gives it back slowly at night. To use this, place thick stone slabs, bricks, or masonry walls where sunlight hits directly through south-facing windows. Let the sun warm the stone for several hours. Close curtains at sunset to trap the heat inside. The stone radiates warmth long after dark, helping rooms stay comfortable using nothing but daylight and smart placement. Sun-warmed greenhouse coil. A simple coil inside a greenhouse can preheat water using solar gain alone. Run black tubing along the greenhouse floor or walls where sunlight is strongest. Fill the coil with water and let the sun do the work. The enclosed space traps heat, warming the water as it circulates slowly. Draw the warmed water into storage or use it directly for washing, reducing the need for fuel-based heating. Perpetual gravity-fed filtration. Gravity-fed filtration systems work non-stop without power. Set a clean water container higher than the filter unit and connect them with tubing. As water flows downward, it passes through the filter and collects below. This continuous movement requires no pumps and stays reliable during outages. Because gravity never stops, clean water remains available as long as the upper container is refilled regularly. Roof shingle absorption. Dark roof shingles absorb significant heat from the sun. To capture it, route water tubing beneath shingles or through attic channels directly below the roof surface. As the roof heats, the tubing absorbs warmth and transfers it to the water. Insulate the lines to reduce loss. This method quietly harvests solar heat that would otherwise escape into the air, turning your roof into a passive energy collector. Rocket stove water coil. A rocket stove throws off intense, focused heat that's perfect for water heating. This works because the insulated burn chamber forces hot gases upward at high speed. To use it, wrap copper or steel tubing around the stove's heat riser, keeping it outside the flame. Run water slowly through the coil into a container. As the stove burns sticks or scrap wood, the coil captures excess heat and delivers hot water quickly using very little fuel. Reflective parabolic preheater. A curved reflective surface can concentrate sunlight into serious heat. This works because parabolic shapes focus solar rays onto a single point. To build one, line a shallow dish or curved frame with aluminum foil or reflective metal. Aim it toward the sun and place a dark water container or pipe at the focal point. Rotate occasionally to track sunlight. Even in cool weather, this setup can preheat water enough to reduce fuel use later. Trench fire kettle. A trench fire creates steady heat while blocking wind. Dig a shallow trench, lay fuel lengthwise, and light it so flames travel along the channel. Place a metal grate or green sticks across the trench and set a kettle on top. The trench concentrates heat under the pot and reduces heat loss. This method uses less fuel than open fires and keeps kettles stable, making it ideal for heating water efficiently in outdoor or emergency conditions. Sawdust burner stove. Did you know that sawdust stoves were used worldwide during fuel shortages, including wartime and the Great Depression? Packed sawdust burns slowly and evenly when ignited from the top. To use it, tightly pack dry sawdust into a metal container with a central air tube. Light the top and place a pot above. The slow burn produces steady heat for hours, turning woodworking waste into a reliable cooking and water heating fuel. Passive geothermosiphon. A thermosiphon moves water using heat alone, no pumps required. This works because warm water naturally rises while cooler water sinks. To build one, bury insulated pipes below frost depth and route them uphill to a storage tank. As ground warmth heats the lower section, water circulates upward. Cooler water returns downward to repeat the cycle. This passive system provides gentle, continuous heat transfer using only natural temperature differences and gravity. Trumbo wall heater integration. A Trumbo wall turns sunlight into steady indoor heat. Build a thick masonry wall on a south-facing side of the home and paint the outer surface dark. Install glass a few inches in front of the wall to trap solar heat. Small vents at the top and bottom allow warm air to circulate indoors naturally. During the day, the wall absorbs heat, then releases it slowly at night, keeping rooms warmer without fuel or electricity. Bread box, water heater. A bread box water heater uses sunlight and insulation to warm water gently. Build a shallow insulated box, line it with reflective material, and place black painted water containers inside. Cover with glass or clear plastic and aim it toward the sun. According to Grandpa, folks back in the day relied on these boxes for washing water when fuel was scarce. The trapped heat slowly raises water temperature, making this a simple, low-cost solar solution. Insulated earthen pit storage. An earthen pit takes advantage of the ground's stable temperature. Dig a pit below frost depth and line it with boards or stone. Place water containers or heat-storing materials inside, then insulate the top with straw, blankets, or soil. The surrounding earth prevents rapid heat loss. Items stored inside stay warmer longer than outdoor air, making this method useful for holding preheated water or preventing freezing during long winter cold snaps. Chimney or flue coil heater. A flue coil heater captures heat that would otherwise escape up the chimney. Wrap copper or steel tubing around the stovepipe, keeping it outside the smoke path. Run water slowly through the coil into a storage container. As exhaust gases pass through the flue, heat transfers into the tubing. This setup adds hot water production without extra fuel, turning wasted exhaust heat into a practical household resource. Built-in wood stove wetback. A wetback is a built-in water jacket installed inside or behind a wood stove. As the stove burns, heat transfers directly into the water chamber. Hot water rises into a storage tank while cooler water flows back down. This gravity-driven system needs no pump. Wetbacks were common in older homes, providing washing and bathing water whenever the stove was running, making one fire serve two essential household needs efficiently. Thermal mass preheat drum. A large drum filled with water makes an excellent thermal battery. This works because water absorbs and stores heat slowly, then releases it over time. To use it, place a sealed drum near a stove or in direct sunlight during the day. Let it warm naturally, then keep it in the living space overnight. The stored heat radiates back into the room, helping steady temperatures and reducing how fast the space cools once the fire dies down. Attic preheat loop. Warm air collects in attics even during cold weather, and it doesn't have to be wasted. Run a loop of black tubing through the attic space, then connect it to a lower water tank. As Grandpa said, heat always rises, so you might as well catch it. The attic warmth gently preheats water as it passes through the loop. This reduces the energy needed later and quietly reuses heat already trapped above the ceiling. Window shelf heater. A window shelf can act like a small solar heater. Place a sturdy shelf in a sunny window and set dark jars or metal containers filled with water on it. Sunlight heats the containers throughout the day. At night, close curtains to keep the warmth inside. This method uses direct solar gain and thermal mass together. It doesn't boil water, but it adds noticeable warmth and helps stabilize indoor temperatures using nothing but sunlight. Solar batch heater. A solar batch heater uses one large drum to heat water directly with sunlight. Paint a metal drum mat black and place it inside a simple box lined with insulation. Cover the front with glass or clear plastic and face it toward the sun. Fill the drum with water and let it sit all day. The dark surface absorbs heat, warming the water steadily. By evening, the drum holds usable hot water without pumps, wiring, or fuel. Thermosiphon circulation. Thermosiphon circulation moves water naturally using heat instead of electricity. This works because warm water rises while cooler water sinks. To set it up, place a heat source or solar collector below a storage tank. Connect them with pipes, keeping upward lines sloped gently. As water warms, it flows upward into the tank, while cooler water drops back down. The circulation continues automatically, providing steady hot water without pumps, switches, or moving parts. Compost water heater coil. A compost pile can quietly generate heat for months. Build a large compost heap using straw, leaves, manure, and kitchen scraps. Run a long coil of black tubing through the center before piling materials around it. As the compost breaks down, microbial activity produces heat that warms the water inside the coil. Circulate the water slowly into a storage container. This method turns natural decomposition into a steady, fuel-free water heating source. Waste cooking oil heater. Used cooking oil can be reused as a heat source instead of discarded. Strain the oil thoroughly to remove food particles. Burn it in a controlled oil burner or drip-style heater designed for thick fuels. As the oil burns, capture the heat with a surrounding water jacket or nearby tank. This approach reclaims energy from waste oil, stretching resources further and providing useful heat during emergencies or off-grid situations. Oil lamp heat exchanger. An oil lamp produces more heat than most people realize. Place a metal coil or a small water container safely above the lamp, keeping clear of the flame. As the lamp burns, rising heat warms the metal and transfers into the water. This setup works best for small amounts of water. It captures otherwise wasted heat, turning simple lighting into a dual-purpose source for warmth and basic hot water when nothing else is available. Candle-powered preheater. A simple candle can preheat water when nothing else is available. This works because even a small flame produces steady, radiant heat. Place a candle beneath a metal plate or small coil, then set a water container on top, keeping everything stable and fire-safe. Let the candle burn slowly as the metal warms and transfers heat upward. The water won't boil, but it will warm enough for washing or preheating, reducing the fuel needed for final heating. Clear bubble wrap cover. Did you know that clear bubble wrap can trap heat almost as well as some insulation materials? The air pockets slow heat loss while still letting sunlight pass through. To use it, press bubble wrap against windows or over solar collectors with the bubbles facing the glass. Tape the edges tightly. Sunlight enters. Heat stays trapped, and drafts are blocked. This low-cost cover boosts solar gain and keeps warm air from escaping during cold days and nights. Gravity-fed on-demand gas heater. A gravity-fed gas heater delivers hot water without electricity. Mount a water tank higher than the heater and connect it using heat-rated piping. As water flows downward, it passes through the gas burner and heats instantly. Adjust flow rate to control temperature. Because gravity does the work, no pump is needed. This setup provides reliable hot water during outages as long as gas is available, making it ideal for off-grid or emergency use. Vacuum flask or thermos tank. A vacuum flask isn't just for coffee. Grandpa would fill large thermos containers with hot water early in the day and seal them tightly. The vacuum insulation prevents heat from escaping for hours. Store the flask indoors and pour out hot water as needed for washing or warming hands. This method doesn't create heat, but it preserves it extremely well, making one heating effort last much longer when fuel is limited. For more contents like this, click here to subscribe.